I've just read a rather excellent book on Bernie Marsden, which is a celebration book, and it's got a lot of lovely pictures and some fantastic, now sort of valedictory words, I suppose, which is such a shame because the gentleman was lovely, and I know because I interviewed him, and I didn't actually interview him. We just sat and chatted, really, and that was beautifully done, beautiful. I didn't want it to end, and it was he starts off talking about the family things he was doing and all of that, and then very quickly it segued to music because it has to, because it was for a music magazine. But really, he was a lovely guy, bore no ill will to anyone. And apart from one person, I won't mention who that was, but he didn't really bear any ill will to them, but he sort of, And that book and the new album that's come out, the Icons album, which is him being so happy about music. And, I mean, doing the music he loved, and also one of the only versions of Oh Well, the Peter Green Oh Well, and Fleetwood Mac Oh Well. I can't sing, I ain't pretty, and my legs are thin. Well, that's the only version I can think of, and I've heard a lot of them, that makes a difference and does something with the track itself. Usually it's either, I'll do something totally different, well, the track won't stand that, or, well, I'll just do the track as it is, or we don't need that, do we, because the track's really good. But so it made me think, because I'm looking at all the different bands that he's worked with in the book, and I'm thinking, blimey, he's had a varied career, hasn't he? Of course, I revere Whitesnake. Of course, I revere Pace Ashton Lord. And then there's the post-Whitesnake material, and there's quite a lot of different, I suppose, Whitesnake-based albums, you could say, couldn't you? Yeah, I suppose you could say that. And so I've gone back to a band that he was in with his great friend. Sadly, they had a falling out, but great friend Micky Moody. And it's the Snakes. I mean, there's quite a lot of bands you could, because you got quite a lot of bands of this nature. And I've gone back to the first album, Once Bitten, ... And I was just looking there at, it came out in 2008. Was it 2008? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was two. I just need to check. I think it was. No, it was 1998. Yeah, so what were Whitesnake doing at that time? I don't think they'd come back to their pomp. You know when they did Good to Be Bad and Forevermore? Blimey. Bloody good. So what happened in 1998? I'm checking it out as we speak. Checking it out. So really, you got Restless Heart in 97. But still a lot of people liked that band. And really, after Alaska, which I loved, different kind of sound. And I remember people thinking, well, it's gone soft. Well, it's the zeitgeist, isn't it? People tended to think, okay, there's different iterations of kind of Whitesnake stuff. And I always thought, well, no, come on. First of all, he has a right to do that if he wants to, because he co-wrote all those great tracks. But also, he's more than that. But Once Bitten, and I had to go back and listen to the other gentleman's work. It has as on vocals Jorn Lande, and he was in the band for a couple of years, I think, wasn't he? There are different iterations of this band as well, with Doogie White and all sorts of people on vocals. But was Gary Hart on there as well? I think he was on vocals. But anyway, this is the first album, and Jorn Lande, I mean, we know he loves that classic rock stuff, and I do like his work very much. He hasn't produced an album for a few years now. But I had to go back and listen to his last album because I thought, he never sounded that Cov, did he? He didn't sound as much like the Squire of Saltburn, the Rake of Redcar, as he does here. And I didn't go back to the early albums, so maybe he found his voice a bit more. But I'll tell you what, this is like Tonight, Matthew, I'm Going to Be. He sounds just like him. And this album is just brilliant, but it doesn't serve Bernie Marsden well at this time because there's already a Whitesnake, and although the Whitesnake that there is in Restless Heart doesn't sound like this, people were saying, and I remember at the time saying, come on, there's something else you could do. That's over, mate. Try something else. And he did. Alaska. You didn't like it. So this does sound like the classic, and I'll say it classic, and classic. I will say this is the classic Whitesnake period. Although my favourite Whitesnake album is Slide It In. Right to the top. Slide it in, baby. Yeah. That's my favourite album. He's not on it, is he? But, yeah. Micky Moody is. But you've got Mel Galley on there, haven't you? Anyway. This is thought to be the classic Whitesnake era. And I reckon this album, although it doesn't have any that you think, my God, that's like Fool for Your Loving, or, yeah. There are no tracks like that. You do think this could appear on an early Whitesnake album, and I'm all for that because I revere my box of snakes. I really do. So, Labour of Love is simple bluesy rock. It's got that fantastic Coverdale voice from Jorn Lande. Sweet, sassy slide solo. Yes, Mickey. Yes. And I love the verse being quietly balladic in and the simple chorus in What Love Can Do. Superb Whitesnake ballad. Great harmonies. Love the dancer. Open brackets. The liar. Close brackets. It's got great Deep Purple power chords actually from that Coverdale period. Kind of Stormbringer type feel. Now listen, I haven't heard this album since it first came out, and I thought, yeah, okay. Like it. Like Marsden. Really like Marsden. Really like his work. Yes, this has quality. And it bloody does, Sacrificial Feelings has rougher guitars with that lovely David Coverdale vocal. It's great. Calm, it's sassy. It's got an enormous solo at the end, but at no point does it say, look at me being all big. It's just lovely and warm. It's great. I like the tone box of Tough Love, but the drums are a bit thin, and the production on this can be a bit sharp. It doesn't sound like there's been an enormous amount of money to throw at a production here, and that's a shame, because these songs deserve a bit of heft. They're rather good. There is a gang chorus in this, but not one that's going to cut you up. It's a gang chorus where they say, come on, mate, come with us for a drink. It's lovely. And then September, all dressed up, by the way, sassy. The sassiest thing here. It is. That's the one that's got the gang chorus. That's the welcoming gang chorus. Of course it is. Because it wants you to enjoy yourself. And then we've got everything you're looking so lovely and you do. It's not Lady in Red, thank goodness. But it has that kind of drum machine feel. September Tears. It's even got bloody panpipes in it. And I wanted to hate it. And halfway through, you get the groove and then a lovely, and a little bit off-kilter solo, which just makes me think, good God, he's a fantastic songster. Bernie Marsden was fantastic. Micky Moody was fantastic. Love Micky Moody's autobiography because he had such great fun. Love Bernie Marsden's, great fun. And they were a great double act together. As I say, sadly, they didn't. I don't think they had a rapprochement before Bernie Marsden. When did he go first? Anyway, they were great friends, and this is a great album. It is a superb Whitesnake album, but you know what? Did people want that? Probably not. Looking back on it though, and listening now, bloody hell, it's quality. But then you are talking about Bernie, aren't you? Ta-ta.